This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, up to 6 o'clock now on Thursday, January 11th. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie is off again today, and John Scalzi again today. Dense fog.
Yep.
Low beams are the two words of the day, right?
Low beams, a little more distance between cars, allow yourself some extra time, and ease up off that gas pedal. Those are the requirements to get you safely to work this morning. Dense fog below quarter-mile visibility has required a dense fog advisory for our entire area by the National Weather Service. Up through 10 o'clock, the fog over Gulf waters, the sea fog, will linger even longer than that. Cooper in central Sarasota reports 65 degrees. Richard in Northport reports 65, and Morgan Lee in Bradenton 64, and has a report of dense fog there as well. So as you can see across the region, check it out in Venice, 0 mile visibility being reported there, meaning really, really thick pea soup fog. So allow yourself some extra time. 65 degrees the air temperature. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few. Ray?
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. You'll see some buildup there on Cortez westbound as you head toward the beaches. Otherwise, relatively clear right now, at least as far as the roads goes, not the fog in Manatee County. Checking farther south, the northern half of Sarasota County, you'll see some buildup there up on Clark Road in the eastbound lane by the interstate, up by Palmer Ranch, also on 41 there. Just disappeared. Magical. And then the South County map showing us all clear at 6:02 on your Thursday morning. Topping our news, an update on the deadly California mudslides. At least 17 people are dead from mudslides and dozens are still missing. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
This morning, rescuers going door to door, searching for survivors in Southern California, placing an X when it's all clear.
I didn't think it would ever turn into something like this. We've never seen anything like this before.
Powerful mudslides funneling down these hillsides left barren by last month's fires. ABC's Kana Whitworth flying over the damage.
If you look out there, you can see all of these homes completely surrounded in mud.
New video shows the mudslides' power and speed. An empty car in Burbank bobsledding down the street as a muddy mess washes downhill.
Oh my God, Mom!
Marco Farrell and his family scrambling to safety as a wall of mud hits their home.
Close the door! Get ready to go out. Wake Dad up.
The Farrell family, some of the lucky ones, surviving the ordeal. But the death toll is rising. At least 17 people have been killed, including Roy Rocher, the founder of a Catholic school. And this morning, pictures surfacing of some of the missing. 12-year-old Sawyer Corey and her sister Morgan. Peter Flore, last seen at his Montecito home. And Ken Liatis, who hasn't been heard from since Tuesday.
This is unbelievable.
At least 400 homes are damaged or destroyed, and the evacuation's still ongoing. It could take weeks or possibly months to restore drinking water in Montecito. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Happening in Florida, the top man at Moat Marine is quite happy with the White House decision not to drill for oil off the coast of Florida. Dr. Michael Crosby says the choice is logical, both for the economy and sustainability of our ecosystem. Dr. Crosby says oil drilling can have a huge impact on Florida's billion-dollar fishing industry. He says that some fisheries who suffered oil spills throughout history have still not recovered.
We don't want that to happen here, and I'm very, very pleased that there was a logical, science-based discussion of the costs, the benefits, and employment of the precautionary principle to arrive at the solution to continue to restrict oil drilling off the coast of Florida.
Dr. Crosby says Florida dodged a bullet after the BP oil spill back in 2010, but others still feel drilling off the coasts would help the U.S. not depend on foreign countries for its oil. Happening today in Manatee County, information about adding solar options around your house. A new solar co-op program will provide discounts for homeowners who are interested in purchasing solar panels due to bulk purchasing power. All residents of Manatee County are eligible for this now. This morning's press conference starts at 10:30 at the South Florida Museum in Bradenton. All right, 6:05 right now. So, will President Trump agree to an interview with special counsel Robert Mueller? And what's the latest on the immigration crackdown? ABC's Lana Zak has that and more from Washington.
ABC News has confirmed that special counsel Robert Mueller has told the president's lawyers he is likely to request an interview with the president. But asked directly if he was willing to meet with Mueller, the president hedged.
I can only say this, there was absolutely no collusion. Everybody knows it.
President Trump had previously said he was willing to meet with investigators.
Would you be willing to speak under oath to give your version of those events?
100%.
On Twitter, the president dismissed it all as, quote, the single greatest witch hunt in American history, adding Republicans should finally take control. He was asked to explain what that means.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody.
The Senate Republican leading one of the investigations seemed to balk at the president, calling for Republican control of the Russia investigation.
I don't intend to have a discussion with the president on that point, and I hope he doesn't call me and tell me the same thing that you said he said.
Meanwhile, congressional negotiators say they are closing in on a DACA deal to protect undocumented immigrants who were brought to the United States as children. The president insists that Congress must agree to fund his wall, but Republicans on the Hill seem to temper expectations.
It depends on how you define a wall. That wall, it doesn't have to be 2,000 miles of solid wall.
Republican Jeff Flake says he believes that Congress will reach an agreement on DACA before the January 19th spending deadline, though it's unclear if it will be included in that bill. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Speaking of immigration, developing overnight, immigration enforcement officers are now targeting 7-Eleven stores nationwide. Agents with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement descended on nearly 100 7-Eleven franchises across the country, cracking down on employers who hire non-residents. Over 20 people suspected of being in the country illegally were promptly arrested. President Trump has been tough on illegal immigration. ICE's acting director pledged to quadruple workplace crackdowns. President Trump also cracking down on Canadian imports of paper. The administration is adding a 10% tariff in order to help U.S. paper companies first. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross says government subsidies given to Canadian paper companies gave them an unfair advantage over U.S. competitors as well. In 2016, imports of Canadian paper totaled, get this, $1.3 billion in this country. This all comes ahead of this month's NAFTA talks between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. And Vice President Mike Pence will lead the U.S. Olympic delegation in South Korea next month. The announcement comes one day after North Korea agreed to send its own delegation to the Games. North Korean officials also agreed to talks with South Korea to ease military tensions. Pence's presence at the Olympics is largely intended to reinforce the U.S. presence on the Korean Peninsula. He'll also visit Alaska and Japan on the same trip to review ballistic missile defense systems. Consumer news now. Heavy rainfall is to blame for a power outage at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Go figure. A few showrooms and hallways went dark inside the convention center for about 2 hours yesterday. Sony, Samsung, Qualcomm were most affected and evacuated during the blackout. Several brands made the most of the unlikely conditions to pitch their new products. One vendor was given a prime opportunity to showcase the new battery pack. Talk about timing. Power has since been restored, and the show will continue to run until tomorrow in Las Vegas. Also at the show, a company showed off a new ring that could be the key to getting help in an emergency. The NIM ring will alert police or your family if you're in danger. It features a small recessed panic button. When pushed, it can send your location to emergency responders or a list of a relative or friend, or you can choose to alert both. The company also says the ring can be used by people with medical issues and the elderly. The price tag, $249. Also at that show, a device to help the legally blind see. Among the new technologies on display, this is eSight. The company says the eyewear has a high-speed, high-definition camera. The video feed is enhanced and displayed on 2 screens in front of the user's eyes. The company says the video images are extremely clear and have virtually no lag whatsoever. Those are interesting shows out there in Las Vegas, aren't they? Boy.
Yeah, it's great. I've been there a couple of times, and it's really fascinating, all that stuff coming out. And just, I think we're, just on the brink of a whole new technological innovation, and I can't see anything but good things for the economy because of it, you know.
So the Jetsons is coming true after all.
Absolutely. You know, we have robots in our homes. We'll have completely automated homes that you just talk to and things happen. It's already starting now, and it's going to be widespread and standard features in homes in, you know, a few years to come.
I can't get by the driverless cars.
As we talked about before, there will be a generation of kids that won't have to learn to drive.
Imagine
their cars.
that.
It's just phenomenal. Dense fog advisory up for our area. We'll talk about it in a second.
Also, first alert traffic involving that dense fog. And we'll tell you about a young class president who wrote to President Trump. He says he wants to make 5th grade great again. That story and more when we come back. But first, speaking of Washington, here is a shot outside in the Capitol. The rotunda nicely lit here before dawn. Congress is back in session. Not sure they work on Fridays, though. We'll have John's forecast after this.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips, and some will take you back in time to the Civil Rights Movement or even the Civil War. You boys play nice now. From Helen Keller to Hamlet. Check out these big guns. We're talking the USS Alabama. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app. Now, your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
It's an alert morning for dense fog across the region. The Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory up for our area. Posted information about this on our website, mysuncoast.com, and our First Alert Weather app. Encourage you to get those items if you have not seen them or looked at them for a while. Good information on them. This advisory will be issued through 10 o'clock this morning, at which point it will be allowed to expire. But I'll tell you what, out in Gulf waters, that sea fog will linger even longer than 10 o'clock. Look at these visibilities, reduced now to 0 miles in Venice, meaning some very thick fog across the region will certainly increase your commute time. It's gonna impact you, so allow some extra time this morning. Distance between cars is increased, low beam headlights are being used, and the speeds are also being reduced in order to give you a safe commute this morning. Quarter-mile visibility in Punta Gorda, half-mile in Sarasota, but these distances, these visibilities kind of come and go, ebb and flow as the fog kind of breathes in and out. In some places it's really thick, and in other places it's not thick at all, but will be in a half an hour or an hour. So just be aware that as you're driving along, those visibilities can change rapidly. Across the region by about 8 o'clock this morning, I think the fog will still be around and lingering over Gulf waters, certainly. And then as we head into the evening hours, things will kind of quiet out. And we'll be looking at a lot more sunshine around. Should be a very pleasant evening. The fog will have lifted. And I think the sunset should look pretty nice tonight. Not much in the way of a rain chance tonight, but I think by overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, we might see a few scattered showers around due to a stronger south flow. Could see some fog forming again tomorrow morning as well. That's certainly possible in the morning hours. Sea fog particularly. And with a southerly flow, some of that sea fog could be pushed back toward the coastline and produce a similar situation today. What we will have working in our favor is that the winds might be elevated just a little bit tomorrow, so perhaps the risk of that event might be reduced a bit, hopefully. But I think by tomorrow night, it'll be a first alert night again because of a frontal boundary approaching, which will trigger a line of showers and potentially even thunderstorms that could move through the area during the evening hours, disrupting your outside activities. Lightning pops certainly not out of the question, but this line will be non-severe. We're not looking at severe weather here, but to the north of us, if you have kids in say, Tallahassee or in Gainesville, there could be some isolated instances of severe weather further to our north, so let them know that. These showers will be moving through here lickety-split, and by, I think, early in the morning on Saturday, we'll see some serious clearing begin to take place, and I think most of Saturday will be spent sunny, but significantly cooler. Rain showers over on the other coast, not a lot here locally, but you can see them back to the west transitioning into snow where that cooler air is located. Areas of low pressure develop and drag that front closer to us by Friday night. And that's the reason for the potential of some thunderstorm activity. Rain-free today, however, but tomorrow, not so much. Again, sea fog lingering across the region through probably late morning into the afternoon, and a first alert morning called because of that dense fog advisory up till 10. The fog clears, we have mostly sunny skies, and another warm day. Tomorrow, a 70% chance of thunderstorm activity, or shower activity at least, during the evening hours. So it could be an alert night as well. Non-severe thunderstorms, however. 76 degrees, another warm afternoon with falling temperatures during the overnight, leading to a much cooler day on Saturday, only about 63, and a little bit breezy on Saturday. Saturday night, temperatures drop further into the 40s, so that on Sunday we only make it into the 50s for a daytime high. It'll be a chilly day on Sunday despite the sunshine, and Martin Luther King Day will feature temperatures slightly warmer, but not much, coming in only in the lower 60s. Ray?
Thank you, John. Checking the first alert traffic right now. Some issues there at 301 and State Road 70, so want to avoid that area if you can. Perhaps you can take 41 or I-75. Checking farther south now in the northern half of Sarasota County. Some issues there on 41 southbound at the Fruitville terminus there near the Quay project. Otherwise, pretty clear in that section of Sarasota County. South County mostly clear at 619 on your Thursday morning. All right, one of my favorite stories of the day now. A fifth grader from Indiana will be watching today's events at the White House very closely. Joy Wolf is a class president, and she's feeling some backlash among her constituents. She wrote to President Trump, and reporter Julian Turkham tells us what happened next.
Dear President Trump, hello, this is Joy Wolf, and I am 11 years old, and I'm the president of my 5th grade class.
From one president to another.
When I was elected, the boys in my class couldn't accept the fact that I had become president.
Joy Wolf had just been elected when she says a group of boys formed an opposition group called the Pink Dragons, a popularity problem she thought someone else could relate to.
A lot of people are unhappy with me being president, and a lot of people are unhappy with you being president. But that's okay. Those boys were mad at me when all I was trying to do was make 5th grade great again. Jesus loves you, Joy.
And it seems this Auburn schoolgirl's letter didn't get lost in the shuffle.
I was shocked. I was pretty stunned.
This week, a White House official told Joy's mother, Vivian, they plan to use her daughter's letter in Thursday's press briefing.
I'm just kind of like it's like really exciting, like I don't know what to expect.
Meanwhile, her mom couldn't be more proud.
She's been bullied. And you've seen her. She smiles all the time. She is happy. She keeps going.
And Joy has some advice for the president when it comes to dealing with criticism.
Don't make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. Just let it roll off your back.
All right, great story about President Joy Wolf at the 5th grade there in Indiana. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. Did police go too far arresting a teacher who repeatedly disrupted a school board meeting? We'll have both sides when we come back. But first, here's a look at the White House, lit up nicely before dawn. There in the background, you see the Washington Monument, pretty shot. We'll have more news after this.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
Well, there you can see why there's a dense fog advisory right now on the Suncoast. Be aware of that. That's the scene outside our window. We'll have John's forecast on the way. Also, don't forget you can contact us anytime through our Facebook pages. There's our respective pages right there. We upload content daily. Right now, we're back at 6:24 on your Thursday morning. Controversy continues after police arrested a teacher who repeatedly disrupted a school board meeting. The board is now receiving death threats. ABC's Steve Osanami has the latest.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the teacher seen here in handcuffs in video now seen around the world is speaking out.
I'm appalled at this, and you should be too.
It happened Monday night. Daisha Hargrave had a simple question. Why is her local school board giving this guy, the superintendent, a nearly $30,000 raise when teachers like her haven't seen a permanent raise in years? In video from the meeting, you see school officials in Abbeville, Louisiana, asking her to leave, saying this was time for public comments and not a debate.
Is it against policy to stand? Sir, do not.
But no sooner than she walked out,
What are you doing?
the school board's marshal had her on the ground, in handcuffs, and under arrest.
Stop resisting.
Coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have reaction from the school board president and the superintendent who got the raise. With your GMA First Look, I'm Steve Osanami, ABC News Atlanta.
There's only one national orange juice brand that only uses 100% American oranges. Simply Orange and Tropicana ship in juice from overseas. Only Florida's Natural grows all of our oranges in Florida. Great taste, naturally.
When you have a cold, stuff happens. Shut down cold symptoms fast with maximum strength Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels.
I've had muscle cramps for as long as I can remember, but now that I'm using TheraWorks Relief, they have stopped. This is the only thing in my entire life that has actually worked.
Get TheraWorks Relief today at TheraWorksRelief.com.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call. Let us give you some peace of mind.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, a drug bust ends in several arrests and more may be on the way in Manatee County. Plus, a fire chief under arrest after an apparent road rage incident in Charlotte County. We'll tell you why he's also charged with burglary. And a 102-year tradition resumes today in Manatee County. We'll preview this year's county fair. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
There you see it, folks. A dense fog advisory is right now in effect. That's the intersection at 10th and Lemon. Take our word for it. That's what we're seeing right now outside our window, high above our TV station here near the Rosemary District. Good morning. A lot like yesterday with the fog out there. It's Thursday, January 11th. I'm Ray Collins. Stephanie again under the weather today. But John, the key is keep the low beams in the car, not the high beams in fog.
That's one of the keys, absolutely, Ray. Yeah, the high beam headlights just make things worse. Plus, you need to increase the distance between cars, absolutely. And you know what? Crack your windows a little bit because there are problems up ahead. You need to be able to hear what's going on, and sometimes you can't do that if you got everything all rolled up and sealed tight inside your cabin. Becky in Omayaka reports 60 degrees. She's got fog there, and Morgan Lee and Bradenton also having fog at 64 degrees. The dense fog advisory in our alert weather morning is due to the fact that visibilities are below a quarter mile in most locations. We even have reports of zero visibility in Venice. And a dense fog advisory has been expanded to our coastal waters now, as of just a few minutes ago. And that advisory actually lasts a little bit longer because that sea fog is going to be stubborn and carry on probably into the afternoon hours. There it is, zero visibility right there in Venice. Quarter mile visibility in Punta Gorda. Half mile in Sarasota, but I'll tell you what, that visibility comes and goes, so don't trust that the visibility is going to be better on your Sarasota streets because you could come up on a bank of dense fog pretty quickly. 65 our air temperature, complete forecast coming up in a few. Ray?
All right, talk to you again soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. Again, be aware of the fog out there, of course. Sounds like a broken record. 301 busy in both directions there at State Road 70. Be aware of that. Otherwise, relatively clear right now in Manatee County. Checking the northern half of Sarasota County, we'll see some issues there along US 41 at the 301 split. Not too far from the Bee Ridge and also down by Clark Road. So some issues there. And farther south, mostly clear at 632 on your Thursday morning. Our top story this hour, three arrests after a drug bust in Manatee County, and detectives say more may be on the way today. They went in a house on 29th Avenue West where they got a tip about drug activity. Once inside, they say they found 400 grams of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, 3 weapons, and 400 rounds of ammunition. They arrested this woman, 41-year-old Laura Shepard, for possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon, and also felony possession of marijuana. 2 other suspects have also been charged with possession of marijuana. The investigation continues today. We're learning new details after a Charlotte County Fire Rescue Battalion chief has been arrested. This is John Miller, charged with burglary and assault. Detectives say Miller got into a dispute with another driver that turned physical. Then, when a phone was brought out to record the incident, they say Miller took the phone away. That's why he's also charged with burglary for taking the phone. Charlotte County fire officials have launched an internal investigation. An update now on the search for a killer in Northport, where a Sarasota teenager was fatally shot yesterday morning. Police say the victim was 19-year-old Trent Bartle Thomas. Detectives say he was inside a home on Porto Chico Avenue in Northport when 2 men wearing black ski masks entered the house about 1:30 a.m. The men then drove off in a silver minivan. Police believe the killers knew their victim. They say they do have some good leads toward an arrest. For the latest on breaking news, upload our new app at WWSB or My Suncoast. Android users will get that app sent to their phones automatically. Months after the death of their most famous exhibit at the South Florida Museum, a new director is now taking over the aquarium in downtown Bradenton. Our Rick Adams has her story.
Well, this continues to be one of the Suncoast's most popular attractions. Now, with a new aquarium director in place, it has a lot of folks very excited. Her name is Virginia Edmonds. She not only loves manatees, but is an expert when it comes to these gentle giants, especially rehabilitating them. Edmonds took over the job as aquarium director back in November after working with manatees at Lowry Park Zoo in Tampa for 2 decades.
I'm very happy to be here, and I just want to continue the work that South Florida Museum has been doing with manatees here, and maybe be able to help take that to the next level of rehabilitation.
Currently, the aquarium has 2 manatees getting healthy, Baka and Gale. Gale is expected to be released back into the wild sometime next month, while Baka most likely will go to SeaWorld for further rehabilitation. Edmonds says she is looking forward to bringing in more challenging cases.
Helping the staff learn about that, how to handle those manatees, how to take care of those manatees and do the best work for them. So I just see good things coming ahead and just continuing the great work that's been done here.
Edmonds takes over following a time last year when tragedy struck the museum and aquarium. Snooty, the oldest living manatee in captivity, died in July, just hours after turning 69 years old, after he swam into a maintenance tunnel. South Florida Museum CEO Bryn Ann Baseo says Edmonds is the right person to keep Snooty's legacy alive and move the aquarium and rehabilitation program forward.
She comes highly qualified, and she can just jump right in. There's no learning curve.
Edmonds is also the chair of the Manatee Release Committee, which involves the Florida Wildlife Commission. She says that she's already been connecting with the many visitors to the museum.
Having discussions with guests that come here and telling them about that story, about the manatee story, why they're here, how they got here, and that they'll be able to be released, and that there are people helping them, it's embraced and they love it.
And do keep in mind the museum will be shutting down the aquarium here in the middle of next month for a few weeks for maintenance. Reporting from Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
In Sarasota, after years of discussion, an effort to revitalize a park is finally happening. Crews demolished the restrooms at Fred Atkins Park yesterday. The move will make way for a new park. It's at the corner of 301 and MLK in Newtown. It's set to reopen next Friday. A follow-up now in Venice. People living in Northport's West Villages are getting some good news. Their zip codes will not be changing. Over 2,000 residents sent a petition to the post office saying they wanted to keep their Venice-based zip code. The post office replied by saying there are no plans to change the zip code, noting that the petition will be kept on file should a zip code change ever be needed in the future. During Hurricane Irma, high demand forced the city of Venice to open its community center and fast. About 400 people streamed in as the storm took aim on the Gulf Coast. Well, we are now learning that that building was not safe as a shelter. The Venice fire chief says that not all of the windows in that center were replaced with impact-resistant windows when it was remodeled about 10 years ago. In fact, the center wasn't even suitable as a shelter for a weaker storm. So far, 2 schools have been identified as possible future shelter sites, but no decisions have been made. They'll talk about it again at the Venice City Council on January 23rd. Irma also destroyed the Anna Maria Pier, but the planks are being salvaged. Many of them contain the names of donors. According to the Bradenton Herald, Anna Maria Mayor Dan Murphy presented a list of options for the planks, and commissioners decided to choose the construction of a memorial wall in City Pier Park. A date for owners who wish to keep their planks has not yet been set. 3 men charged in connection to that disturbing shark dragging video that went viral were in court yesterday in Tampa. Robert Benak, Spencer Hines, and Michael Wenzel all pleaded not guilty. Yeah, here's that video. It surfaced last summer showing a shark tied by a rope around its tail, dragged by the boaters. If convicted, the 3 men face up to 5 years in jail, 5 years probation, and a $5,000 fine. Another court appearance is set for March the 6th. Happening today in Manatee County, a groundbreaking for a new headquarters for Mercedes Medical in Lakewood Ranch. Mercedes Medical is an international distributor of medical products. It's been in the area for 25 years, based by the airport. It's owned by the family of former State Representative Alex Miller. This new facility will help the company expand their business and better serve medical centers across the region. Today's ceremony is at 2 p.m. at State Road 70 and Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. Manatee Technical College now has funds to expand its workforce training program. Governor Scott visited the campus yesterday to award the first grant from the Florida Job Growth Grant Fund. The money will help the school purchase high-tech equipment needed to expand the workforce training program in advanced manufacturing and production technology, a move that will help prepare more students for career opportunities, he says.
You talk to students right here at Manatee Technical College, they know they're going to walk out with a job because they know there's a good job market. We have about 235,000 job openings right now in their state. People are flocking here from all over the world because they know they can get a job, and we're just a great melting pot.
The goal of the program is to help prepare students and also encourage businesses to invest in Manatee County as a result of the skilled workforce there. Governor Scott has announced a 14-year high in the state's graduation rate in high schools. Last year, the statewide rate rose to 82%, about 2% more than the previous year. Here on the Suncoast, here are the numbers. Manatee County 81% and Sarasota County 86%. Happening today in Manatee County, the 102nd Annual County Fair. Food vendors, livestock competitors, and ride operators will be busy through the 21st. That's a week from Sunday. And this Tuesday is a Veterans Parade and also free admission. A follow-up now on the Venice music teacher confined to a wheelchair. You might recall the story of George LeBesse. He'd been in a wheelchair for 30 years after a motorcycle accident left him paralyzed from the chest down. This is his old car, not ideal for somebody who's in a wheelchair. So his co-workers all got together to begin a GoFundMe page to help him out. And good news, after our coverage last week on the story, a local dealership donated a van to LeBesse as well as a motorized wheelchair as well. And here's some video now of him in his new van that is wheelchair accessible. Much better than that old red car. So George, way to go. You've got some great friends, it seems, in Venice. And that's a happy ending there, John Skull.
Fantastic. What a great story. Yeah. And kudos to that dealership. That's a wonderful thing.
That's right.
We have some dense fog across our region. It's an alert morning here on the Suncoast because of that dense fog that's around. Visibility is down to 0 in Venice. So that's a slow go.
That's pretty slow.
That's a slow go. We'll talk about that forecast in a second.
Also, we'll check traffic, and the flu epidemic is hitting hard right now. Stephanie Webb knows that. We'll have more on how you can have some tips and warning signs when we come back. But first, a peek outside our window. This is what we're seeing. Now, the window's clear, we promise. But there's the fog right now in the Rosemary District. We'll have John's forecast and local first alert traffic and health news after this.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer.
Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC 7 is seeking an experienced broadcast engineer to provide technical support for all broadcast equipment. TV broadcast background required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yes, indeed. It is a First Alert weather morning. Watch the Lakewood Ranch webcam put into motion showing the fog rolling in. Starting last night, ending up this morning, the fog is dense in places, requiring some extra time for your morning commute. You could see visibilities reduced over water even longer, but over land, the dense fog advisory expires at 10 o'clock this morning. After that time, the fog should have lifted sufficiently that visibilities are fine everywhere. But along the coastline and in Gulf waters, that sea fog is going to linger probably through mid-morning. Visibilities are being reported down to, well, in some instances, as low as 0 miles, which basically means much less than a quarter mile. So it requires, of course, some extra time for your morning commute in some places, and a little bit lower speeds, distance between cars increased, low beam headlights used exclusively. All of those things required for your morning commute. The fog a little bit more widespread than it was yesterday morning. The first alert the alert for your morning fog will probably continue through about 10 o'clock this morning. Then we'll let that go, and we'll start to see a little bit of sunshine peeking through some of those clouds, similar to what we saw yesterday. By 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the fog is still with us. By noon, we're starting to see some pretty good holes in those clouds, except over Gulf waters where it's still going to be thick. No rain showers under any of these clouds, and by 3 o'clock this afternoon, you got sunshine. Sunshine poking through the clouds, but still patches of dense fog out in Gulf waters, boaters. Otherwise, we watch temperatures rise over land with all the sunshine around to probably above average temperatures again in the upper 70s. By this evening, no rain falling, but we'll probably start to see the fog begin to develop again in inland areas, and by tomorrow morning, fog certainly possible once again. Could be another first alert weather morning tomorrow morning because of dense fog. However, the wind speeds should start picking up just a little bit because on Friday we'll start to see a front approach, so that by the evening we'll see these showers begin to move on shore by about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening and last through about 9 o'clock or so. Until all of this is out of here and the winds start coming in out of the north, we get a few fair weather clouds coming in off Gulf waters and a few scattered sprinkles during the early morning hours of Saturday, but then things clear out and turn cooler. Across our area, no rain falling, but we do have some showers over on the other coast. Locally, everything is quiet in terms of rainfall. It's just the fog that's pea soup out there. But as I mentioned, that should probably come to an end on Saturday because drier air will be filtering in behind this frontal boundary that's taking shape in the plains right now. The front approaches, moves through here Friday night with that chance of thunderstorms. It could be a first alert weather night Friday night or Friday evening because of those showers moving through. We'll watch for that. Certainly some cooler weather coming up for the weekend. Those southeast wind coming in at about 5 knots or so. That will increase, boaters, as we head into Saturday. Today, 77. After the fog lifts, we get some sunshine. Tomorrow morning, perhaps an alert morning because of fog. Certainly an alert evening and night because of a good chance of showers and thunderstorms. Then we turn a little bit cooler on Saturday. Daytime high 63, significantly cooler in fact, and it'll be breezy as well, putting an extra little bite on that wind, on that air. And then on Sunday, we struggle to make it into the 50s, and the week ahead looks kind of cool as well, especially for Martin Luther King's birthday. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. Some buildups there from Palmetto into downtown Bradenton on the Green Bridge, the western of those two bridges right there. Also 301 southbound around State Road 70 as usual. Farther south now into Sarasota County, some buildup there on Fruitville Road, eastbound around Tuttle and Beneva. Otherwise pretty clear in that section of the county. South County, a little blip there on 41 southbound as you get past Tarpon Point. In this hour's Health Smart, doctors nationwide are very concerned about the flu epidemic. That includes Florida as well. This epidemic is being described as the most deadly in decades. One Florida doctor says he's been seeing flu patients nonstop.
We've been extraordinarily busy, and approximately 70% of what I've been seeing since this place opened 2 months ago is flu symptoms.
If they begin to feel sick. Entertainment news now. All the money in the world might be making some big money at the box office, but some controversy now about how little was paid to the film's co-star Michelle Williams. USA Today reports that actor Mark Wahlberg was paid $1.5 million for the reshoots, while Williams was paid about $1,000. USA Today reports that Wahlberg's team actually negotiated the payout, and apparently Williams was not told about that. Meantime, actor James Franco, the latest to be accused of sexual misconduct, controversy ignited after he wore a Time's Up pin to the Golden Globes. Social media users commented that he should not have worn the pin since he is accused of misconduct. During his appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Franco said the sexual misconduct claims against him are not accurate. The 2018 Critics' Choice Awards are tonight in Santa Monica, hosted by Olivia Munn. The awards will honor Gal Gadot with the #SeeHer Award. Leading all films is The Shape of Water, coming in with 14 nominations, and Feud, Bette and Joan leading all series with 6 nominations. We are at 6:51 right now, up to actually your day's top local news headlines. And we'll tell you why a museum in Boston is adding a furry friend to the staff when we come back.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
The classic film Singing in the Rain is coming to the Players Center in a live stage show opening January 17th. All the dances and all the songs you've come to know and love, all a part of our wild Broadway series. Get your tickets now for this limited run by calling the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. You too can be singing in the rain.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
Here are the top headlines on the Suncoast today. A Charlotte County fire chief was arrested after a dispute with another driver. John Miller is charged with assault and also burglary for taking a phone when somebody tried to record the incident. 3 men accused of dragging a shark behind a boat will be back in court March 6th. They pleaded not guilty yesterday in Hillsborough County Court. And tonight starts the 102nd annual Manatee County Parade. The fair wraps up a week from Sunday. Checking traffic, no issues on the road, just plenty of fog right now. John Scalzi?
Yes, indeed. Visibility is down to, well, near zero being reported in some locations. And the fog also out in Gulf waters will linger longer. That's not easy to say. 77 our high after that fog burns off. It could be another first alert morning tomorrow because of fog, and then a first alert evening because of thunderstorms. We're going to be updating that video forecast on our app at 9 a.m. this morning.
All right, look at this. Boston's Museum of Art has gone to the dogs. Riley is their newest and cutest employee. He helps track out bugs and kill the bugs, saves on pest control. So thanks to Riley at the Museum of Art in Boston. That is our news for this Thursday morning, January 11th. We'll hopefully have Stephanie back here tomorrow. Here's one last shot of the fog outside our window here in the Rosemary District. Stay tuned. Good Morning America is next. Enjoy your day.